Good morning, team. It is Tuesday, August 3rd. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amy Kaur, and I'm joined by Kevin Van Eck, and we are live out of the Goose Island office. And I apologize if you hear that amazing drilling that's going on outside our building, but I think it means great things are going to come this fall, and our building will be in great shape. All right, we've got a great episode for you today, so let's get ready to jump in. Grab your coffee, your tea, your power smoothie, and your lemon water. Drink it all, and let's get into another episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
Yes, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. We've got a break in the jackhammering this morning, which is great. Thank you for watching today. We're going to talk about mediocrity and specifically getting past mediocrity, getting past average. Amy and I on coffee and outside of coffee have talked a lot about doing more than just the average, raising the bar, raising the client experience. And so we're going to talk about 3 habits today that people who are moving past mediocrity are inserting into their lives. These 3 habits, we need some participation today. Nobody wants to be average. If you want to be better than average, if you want to excel, click the like button right now on this video. And we're going to get started with these 3 tips. Get out a pen and paper. It's time to move past mediocrity.
All right, and the first thing that I want you to focus on, get your pen and paper and think about it, but doing things that others don't do or aren't willing to do. That is the difference between being average or just sort of staying in place and moving beyond and actually growing, not just in business, but in life. So doing the things that others are not willing to do. And this is where I actually think the power of the 5-second rule. This is something we talked about earlier in the year on coffee. Mel Robbins is the individual that kind of introduced that out into the universe, but it's where, how many times have you had a great idea, something you've really wanted to do, and you've thought through it, and then days, weeks later, you've never taken any sort of action? That happens to a lot of us, but it's starting to figure out, how can I take some of these great ideas or things that I know that I should be doing and actually take them into action? That's going to be the difference between just being regular or sort of staying where you're at and moving into a new space, both personally and professionally. So think about it. What are some of the things that you really want to get done or accomplish this year? Is this the year that you're going to be thinking about doing a comprehensive marketing plan where you're going to really start looking at getting into digital marketing, advertising, taking some of the things that you know you really want to do and push and actually do them so that you can get yourself to the next level? What about some of those real estate reviews? How many of you right now are sitting there listening to me, seeing me and saying, God, I haven't done any real estate reviews? What's going to move the needle? What's going to be the difference between just thinking about doing something and taking action? You've got to figure out how to move yourself forward. Here's the other thing that I'm going to have you think about. I know that for me, when I want to make sure that I am moving forward or I'm learning or I'm growing, I make sure that I surround myself by or with people that are going to help push me further, because the people that we're around tend to be the individuals that really figure out kind of where we are in life and in business. So surround yourself by individuals. If you're sitting with or working with or interacting with individuals that aren't that motivating, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to move the needle, right? So think about who you're surrounding yourself with in order to push yourself forward. But at the end of the day, you've got to put yourself into situations too where you can create opportunity. So another thing I want you to be thinking about is, what are you doing right now? Are you getting yourself out there? Are you meeting people? We've talked a lot about the fact that summer right now is a great time to be out and engaging with individuals. So instead of maybe just sitting at home or doing the same old things that are really comfortable, what are you going to do to push yourself and get out in front of others and create opportunity and action in ways in which you can move yourself forward? So again, let's talk about being mediocre. Mediocre is kind of doing the same thing and not taking risk, not moving past those fears and not being able to move beyond what we're doing all of the time. So think about it. Do we want to be mediocre, or do we want to be doing things that we know others can't? And that's going to be able to move us forward.
I love that so much. And I love that you brought back the 5-second rule, because that can be a huge part of that. Moving forward, number 2, the habit is always be learning, or learn more than anybody else. Learn more than the average agent or the average person. Learn more than what the bar requires to get into and stay in real estate. So I want you to think about this. When's the last time you intentionally learned something? whether it was real estate related or not. When's the last time you proactively researched or took on a topic, learned maybe how to improve your listing presentation? If you've been in the business for 10 years and you haven't inserted anything new into your listing presentation, now could be the time. If you haven't inserted anything into the way that you host open houses, if you haven't inserted anything into the way that you negotiate, now could be the time to learn. And all these opportunities are out there. The other opportunity is in terms of technology. So we just talked about sales skills, but technology. You have the opportunity to insert differentiating tools into your business. And if you're with App Properties, you have the digital listing presentation. Have you taken the time to intentionally learn how to use this? And remember, when we're talking about learning, it's setting yourself apart with your knowledge. It's continuing to grow so that you have new skills, so that you can use new technology to become more efficient, differentiate yourself, and sell more real estate. And also, here is a big one. It doesn't have to be about real estate. What have you learned, perhaps outside of real estate, that allows you to connect with others? Think about it. How many times are you in a situation, maybe it's the one that Amy talked about, where we're putting ourselves out there in places where we can meet and we have an opportunity to meet with people? What are the things that we have learned that we are able to share, where when we ask questions of the people that we're talking with, we're able to create a connection because of some commonality that we're able to find because of something we Googled, because of something we read in the news, because of an article that we read in the New Yorker, whatever it is. Here's the goal, is to set yourself apart by your knowledge. Because if growing our brain, if growing our knowledge, if growing our skill set isn't something we focus on, then everyone will be leaving us in the dust. We will be average. We will be below average. So the challenge here is find something intentionally that you can learn about. And one last one, here is a quick pointer. I know a lot of times we get questions about the 1031 exchange. A lot of times we get questions about working with investment properties. Look, all the opportunities are here to learn about those things. Don't wait until you have one client who asks you about them. Take the opportunity, learn about it so that you can be a true advisor when your client asks you about that topic, rather than trying to do a speed round 5-minute, trying to learn it before speaking with your client so you feel like you can answer the questions. I hope that makes sense to everyone. Write down one thing right now that you want to focus on learning in the month of August.
Kevin, that is such great advice. And I will tell you, I absolutely love using Google. In fact, last night I was Googling the age of one of the Real Housewives of Orange County. So it definitely comes in handy. So the third thing that we want to talk about in regards to not being mediocre is being excited. And that really just means being excited, curious, and energetic towards everything that you do, both personally and professionally. Here's the thing, you get to be in real estate. You get to have this amazing career. So when you set your mind that way and realize how great your life is and what an opportunity you have to have unlimited success, to have amazing clients, that is the frame of mind that you need to be in. But you also need to recognize that, when you walk into a room, you have to ask yourself, am I the individual that is bringing the energy into the room, or am I the individual that is sucking the energy out of it? That's a really important question. And let's face it, we all have bad days. Look, I know I seem to have a lot of energy, but not every single one of my mornings start off on the right foot. And sometimes I have to make the conscious decision to bring energy and enthusiasm into my day. But I will tell you, when you make that decision to bring that and give that out into the universe, it will come right back to you. And let's face it, like when we have energy and we put it out there, energy comes back to us. When we send out good vibes, the good vibes will come back. I want you to think about a TV show. It's called Ted Lasso. And I think I've mentioned this before in other classes. And Kevin's laughing right now. I can see him on air, but I will tell you, it is the show. It's on Apple TV, and it is a show about this guy who is set up to fail. All they want to do is make sure that this guy fails. He's a middle America football coach who goes over to England, and he has to coach a professional football or soccer team in England, and he knows nothing about the sport. But what you will see in this is that he has this amazing energy and enthusiasm towards life. And so even though people don't want to like him, even though they want to see him fail, what ends up happening is everyone ends up loving him, and all they want to do is see him succeed. So So it really just inspires all of us to show that attitude is everything, and it can overcome so many different obstacles. So think about it. The average people that are bored or upset or annoyed, what do they convey to you? They don't convey anything great or inspiring. So I want you to really think about it. And I know that not every day is always easy, but if you actually say to yourself, I'm going to start my day, and when I move through my day, I'm going to bring great energy and great enthusiasm, and I'm going to be curious for what's out there, I will tell you, it is going to be a game changer for who you attract and what types of experiences you end up bringing to yourself, not just professionally, but personally.
I love it so much. And for everyone who's joining us for coffee this morning, Amy really does this. I will tell you, she's not making it up. Every morning when she comes in, regardless of the day she's having, and I would have no idea whether her kids were grumpy or she's grumpy, because I can hear her coming into the building. I know the way she walks. I can hear her footsteps, and she pops around the door and says, good morning. And it's the perfect start to the day. So these 3 habits, you can choose whether you want to be mediocre or not. And the word itself, mediocre, is kind of an ugly word. You can choose whether you want to be average or not. You can take steps to be better than average. Let's do that together. That's what App Properties is all about, raising the bar when it comes to marketing, technology, and training and coaching. And that's what you are about, is raising the bar, raising the experience for your consumer. And you can do that in these 3 ways. Number 1, by doing the things that other people won't. Number 2, by continuing to learn. And number 3, by bringing great energy. So let us know in the comments how you're going to insert habits into making sure that you raise the bar for yourself. You are not like every other agent. You are not the average or mediocre. Everybody, make it a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye, team. Make it a great Tuesday. We'll see you next week.